Have you ever wondered if persistent bedroom myths secretly erode your confidence, leaving you trapped in a cycle of unrealistic expectations? Imagine the power of debunking these false narratives that have quietly undermined your intimate life for years. In this video, you will uncover hidden truths about common misconceptions, challenge outdated beliefs, and reclaim the self-assurance you deserve. Prepare to break free from the chains of misinformation and embrace a renewed sense of intimacy that empowers every aspect of your personal well-being. The journey ahead reveals evidence-backed insights and transformative strategies that will shift your mindset permanently. In today's culture, expectations surrounding bedroom performance have been distorted by pervasive myths that infiltrate our understanding of intimacy. Society promotes an ideal of flawless prowess while neglecting the natural variations of human desire and energy. These misconceptions, fueled by casual conversations and mass media, impose unyielding standards that burden the mind and heart. The constant bombardment of unrealistic ideals shapes perceptions and amplifies anxiety, making natural intimacy seem deficient when compared to a manufactured perfection. The origins of these myths can be traced to a blend of folklore, sensationalized media, and a cultural emphasis on physical perfection. Early stories and modern films alike have contributed to an unattainable standard, later magnified by social media and advertising. Over decades, these ideals have seeped into everyday thought, influencing how individuals perceive their own intimate abilities. This relentless dissemination subtly molds personal beliefs and behaviors, causing many to accept these distortions as the unalterable truth rather than socially constructed illusions. These distorted beliefs inflict a profound impact on self-esteem, as individuals come to measure their worth against an unrealistic benchmark. Constant comparisons to idealized images leave little room for accepting natural fluctuations in desire and performance. The burden of perceived failure, when one does not meet these standards, can diminish self-confidence and spark a cycle of self-criticism. Such emotional strain reverberates beyond the bedroom, affecting overall quality of life and personal relationships, while obscuring the beauty inherent in genuine, imperfect connection. Recognizing the need to challenge these entrenched myths is the first step toward reclaiming authentic self-worth. It is vital to question long-held assumptions and scrutinize the origins of these pervasive narratives. By confronting these ideas head-on, one can dismantle the false standards that have dictated intimate lives for far too long. A mindset open to evidence and reflective thought empowers individuals to redefine intimacy on their own terms, setting the stage for a more compassionate self-assessment and a healthier emotional outlook. The influence of these myths extends deeply into mental and emotional health, often manifesting as anxiety, depression, and chronic stress. When societal pressures force individuals to adhere to impossible standards, the resulting inner conflict becomes overwhelming. This emotional burden not only undermines intimate relationships, but also distorts self-perception. The relentless pursuit of a manufactured ideal creates a mental trap, stifling authenticity and leaving scars that affect overall well-being, while the awareness of such impact is the first step toward meaningful change. With the groundwork established, it becomes clear that three prominent myths have particularly detrimental effects on self-confidence. These falsehoods, deeply embedded in cultural narratives, continue to dictate behavior and personal expectations in the bedroom. Each myth, from performance expectations to superficial ideals, contributes uniquely to the erosion of genuine intimacy. In the following discussion, each will be examined in detail, revealing the fallacies behind assumptions that undermine self-worth and distort our approach to connection, setting the stage for transformative clarity. One pervasive myth suggests that performance should always come naturally, as if intimate prowess is an innate, unwavering trait. This belief insinuates that any deviation from perfection is a personal shortcoming, a notion widely accepted as fact. Many assume sexual competence is effortless and constant, ignoring natural fluctuations in desire and energy. Such a perspective creates an impossible standard, reducing complex human intimacy to a binary of success or failure, and reinforcing damaging ideas that detract from the beauty of authentic connection. The insistence on unwavering performance imposes tremendous pressure on individuals, leading them to believe every encounter must mirror an idealized standard. This pressure breeds anxiety and harsh self-criticism, as any perceived lapse becomes a mark of personal failure. The relentless pursuit of perfection disrupts the natural flow of intimacy, turning moments meant for connection into sources of stress. Over time, The heavy burden of maintaining constant excellence erodes self-confidence, making genuine enjoyment of intimacy increasingly elusive and reinforcing a cycle of doubt. Numerous studies have challenged the myth of constant, natural performance by revealing that sexual function naturally fluctuates due to stress, fatigue, and emotional states. Research demonstrates that even individuals renowned for their prowess experience variability in their intimate encounters. This scientific evidence debunks the unrealistic expectation that flawless performance is the norm, proving that deviations are not deficiencies but natural aspects of human physiology. Such data reinforces the understanding that imperfection is inherent and acceptable in real-life intimacy. The pressure to perform flawlessly not only creates stress, but also deeply undermines personal confidence. When individuals internalize the myth that performance must be perfect, any imperfection is magnified into a significant flaw. This constant self-scrutiny fosters a persistent fear of inadequacy that chips away at self-worth over time. The resulting emotional damage impedes the ability to enjoy intimacy fully, as each misstep reinforces negative self-perceptions. Acknowledging the harm in this mindset is essential for regaining confidence and embracing a more compassionate view of one's own natural rhythm. Real-life testimonials reveal the profound impact of the myth that performance is always natural. Many recount nights overshadowed by overwhelming fear and the paralyzing pressure to meet an impossible standard. Such personal stories highlight how the burden of unrealistic expectations can ruin intimate moments and erode self-esteem. These accounts underscore that even those with previously satisfying intimate lives are vulnerable to the damaging effects of this myth. Their experiences serve as a potent reminder of the urgent need to reject such false standards. It is crucial to redefine what constitutes normal and healthy intimacy by rejecting the myth of perpetual, natural performance. Embracing the idea that variability is inherent to human experience can free individuals from self-imposed pressures. Redefining normal means accepting that occasional imperfections do not diminish overall ability or value. Shifting focus from unrealistic ideals to authentic connection alleviates anxiety and fosters genuine satisfaction. This new perspective allows one to appreciate the natural ebb and flow of intimate encounters without fear of judgment. Another damaging myth asserts that appearance is the ultimate determinant of success in the bedroom, placing physical looks at the forefront of desirability. This belief is deeply entrenched in social narratives and media portrayals that equate beauty with competence. It imposes an unrealistic standard by suggesting that aesthetic perfection is necessary for fulfilling intimacy. As society emphasizes visual appeal, many feel compelled to conform to narrow and often unattainable ideals. Such a focus reduces the complex nature of connection to mere physical attributes, oversimplifying what truly matters. Media platforms and advertising continuously bombard us with images of flawless beauty, establishing benchmarks that are both narrow and unrealistic. These visual ideals foster a constant sense of inadequacy among those who do not meet the exaggerated criteria. The relentless pressure to conform forces individuals to invest time and energy into their appearance, often at the expense of nurturing deeper connections. Social media amplifies these pressures by showcasing carefully curated images that distort reality. This comparison creates an internal narrative where self-worth is measured solely by outward appearance. Scientific research consistently refutes the notion that physical appearance is the sole determinant of sexual satisfaction or performance. Studies reveal that emotional connection, mutual respect, and effective communication play significantly larger roles in intimate fulfillment than mere looks. These findings discredit the simplistic equation of beauty with success, highlighting instead the diverse factors that contribute to genuine connection. Evidence shows that qualities such as empathy and authenticity are far more influential in sustaining satisfying relationships. Such insights encourage a broader, more inclusive view of attractiveness that transcends surface-level appearances. Constantly comparing oneself to idealized images can inflict lasting psychological wounds, leading to persistent feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. The relentless pursuit of physical perfection fosters an environment where self-criticism is rampant and personal worth is constantly questioned. Over time, this habit of comparison escalates into chronic anxiety and depression, undermining one's ability to engage fully in intimate relationships. The mental strain of always measuring up to an unattainable standard not only hampers self-confidence, but also distorts one's perception of true beauty. Recognizing these harmful effects is a vital step toward healing and self-acceptance. The social construction of beauty, perpetuated by cultural norms and media imagery, exerts enormous pressure to conform to a singular ideal. This external influence often becomes internalized, leading individuals to equate their self-worth solely with their physical appearance. As self-esteem dwindles under these expectations, genuine qualities such as humor, kindness, and intelligence are overlooked. The narrow focus on appearance diminishes the richness of true intimacy and reduces human connection to a superficial assessment. Challenging this narrative is essential for restoring balance and building self-confidence based on the entirety of one's character. It is imperative to recognize that true intimacy encompasses far more than physical appearance, embracing emotional depth, trust, and vulnerability. Shifting focus away from superficial standards allows for the cultivation of richer, more authentic connections. By valuing qualities like empathy and intellectual compatibility, one can foster a more inclusive and resilient sense of desirability. This broader perspective not only enhances self-worth, but also paves the way for relationships founded on genuine emotional exchange. Embracing a holistic view of intimacy ultimately leads to deeper, more satisfying bonds that honor the complexity of the human spirit. A third prevalent myth claims that unwavering confidence stems solely from impeccable, unshakable performance in intimate settings. This notion insinuates that a flawless encounter is the cornerstone of self-assurance, leaving little room for natural variation. Many accept this idea unquestioningly, equating consistent physical success with personal value. The myth suggests that any lapse in performance is a sign of weakness, reinforcing a narrow and damaging standard. By reducing the multifaceted experience of intimacy to a single performance metric, this belief undermines the diverse qualities that truly contribute to confidence. Linking physical performance directly to self-confidence is a misleading oversimplification that ignores the emotional dimensions of intimacy. This erroneous association implies that one's worth is measured only by the ability to perform flawlessly, disregarding the importance of vulnerability and genuine connection. In reality, confidence is nurtured through self-acceptance, open communication, and a balanced appreciation of one's strengths and imperfections. The singular focus on physical achievement detracts from the broader qualities that foster true emotional resilience. Recognizing the multifactorial nature of confidence is crucial for overcoming the constraints of this damaging myth. Empirical studies have demonstrated that the relationship between physical performance and self-confidence is far more complex than the myth suggests. Research reveals that emotional well-being, mutual understanding, and effective communication significantly influence a person's sense of self-worth. These studies debunk the oversimplified idea that flawless performance is the sole measure of confidence, showing instead that vulnerability and authenticity are central to true intimacy. Data consistently indicates that individuals who embrace a holistic view of connection experience greater satisfaction and resilience in their relationships. This evidence encourages a reevaluation of the narrow metrics that have long defined self-assurance. The insistence on linking confidence exclusively to impeccable performance often generates intense anxiety and insecurity. When individuals internalize this myth, every minor setback is magnified into a personal failing, creating a cycle of self-doubt and stress. This constant pressure disrupts the natural joy of intimacy, replacing it with a fear of inadequacy that permeates every encounter. The resulting tension not only undermines personal relationships, but also erodes overall self-esteem, as each perceived imperfection reinforces negative self-beliefs. Over time, the burden of unrealistic expectations transforms what should be an enjoyable experience into a source of emotional distress and perpetual worry. Numerous personal accounts illustrate how unrealistic expectations based on performance can harm overall well-being. Many individuals recount moments when the pressure to achieve perfection turned intimate encounters into episodes of crippling self-criticism. These experiences reveal that even brief lapses in performance are often interpreted as significant failures, inflicting lasting emotional damage. The cumulative effect of these pressures is a pervasive sense of inadequacy that diminishes both confidence and the ability to enjoy genuine connection. Such real-life examples serve as a stark reminder of the destructive power of these myths, urging a collective rejection of harmful standards. Adopting a holistic view of intimacy means recognizing that confidence is built on a tapestry of emotional, physical, and psychological factors. True self-assurance emerges from a balanced integration of vulnerability, communication, and self-acceptance rather than isolated moments of physical success. This comprehensive perspective allows individuals to appreciate the full spectrum of their intimate experiences without the pressure of constant perfection. Valuing both strengths and natural imperfections leads to a more resilient sense of identity and a healthier approach to relationships. Embracing this multifaceted concept of intimacy frees one from the confines of unrealistic expectations and nurtures lasting confidence. The pervasive influence of these myths extends into every corner of one's emotional life, often resulting in diminished self-esteem and chronic stress. Internalizing unrealistic standards fosters relentless self-criticism and a persistent sense of inadequacy that saps emotional strength. The relentless pressure to conform to these ideals leaves little space for self-compassion or personal growth, undermining overall well-being. This deep-seated lack of confidence not only hampers intimate connections, but also casts long shadows over all aspects of daily life. The damaging effects of these myths are far-reaching, seeping into every interaction and distorting the true nature of self-worth. The intense pressure to meet unattainable standards can strain personal relationships, as anxiety and self-doubt disrupt open communication. Individuals burdened by these expectations may withdraw from authentic connection, fearing judgment and inevitable failure. This defensive withdrawal leads to miscommunication and emotional distance between partners, further eroding trust and intimacy. The constant background of anxiety creates a barrier that prevents honest sharing of feelings, isolating both parties. As relationships falter under the weight of unrealistic pressures, the cycle of insecurity and misunderstanding deepens, leaving a lasting impact on emotional well-being. Long-term exposure to these unrealistic expectations can severely compromise mental health, leading to chronic anxiety, depression, and burnout. The continuous internal conflict between one's authentic self and imposed ideals gradually erodes emotional stability. Over time, the cumulative stress manifests in both mental and physical health issues, affecting everyday functioning and overall quality of life. Recognizing the prolonged dangers of adhering to such harmful standards is essential for initiating a journey toward recovery. Prioritizing mental health and seeking supportive interventions become critical steps in breaking free from the damaging cycle of self-criticism. The internalization of these myths often leads to a breakdown in communication, as fear of inadequacy prevents honest self-expression. When individuals are preoccupied with meeting unrealistic standards, they struggle to convey their true feelings and needs. This stifled dialogue creates barriers that impede the development of genuine intimacy, leaving relationships shallow and disconnected. The absence of open, empathetic conversation fosters misunderstandings and perpetuates feelings of isolation. Over time, the inability to communicate effectively undermines the trust and mutual support essential for sustaining deep, meaningful connections between partners. As self-confidence deteriorates under the weight of unrealistic expectations, the strain frequently spills over into relationship conflicts. The loss of self-assurance can lead to hypersensitivity, causing even minor misunderstandings to escalate into significant disputes. Partners caught in this cycle find it increasingly difficult to navigate emotional turbulence, resulting in recurrent arguments and lingering resentment. The erosion of confidence diminishes empathy and compromises the ability to resolve conflicts amicably. Over time, this dynamic sows seeds of distrust and frustration, further undermining the stability and satisfaction of intimate relationships. It is imperative to change the narrative surrounding intimacy to restore emotional balance and well-being. Recognizing that these myths are arbitrary constructs allows individuals to reject their damaging influence and embrace healthier perspectives. Shifting away from unrealistic standards liberates one from the constant burden of perfection, fostering an environment of acceptance and self-compassion. Critically examining these pervasive beliefs reveals how they undermine genuine connection and foster emotional distress, urging us to rethink what truly matters. For each myth, key evidence challenges the prevailing narratives. The first myth of effortless performance is debunked by research showing natural variability and the harmful impact of pressure. The second myth, which overemphasizes appearance, is refuted by studies underscoring the importance of emotional connection over superficial beauty. Finally, the idea that unshakable confidence depends solely on perfect encounters is undermined by data highlighting that self-worth is multifactorial. These insights collectively dismantle the simplistic views imposed by societal standards. Adopting a critical perspective on widely accepted popular beliefs is paramount for fostering healthier, intimate relationships. Questioning the validity of these myths allows one to look beyond surface-level expectations and embrace a more nuanced understanding of intimacy. This skeptical approach liberates individuals from the constraints of unrealistic standards and promotes compassion for oneself and others. Challenging conventional wisdom opens the door to more authentic experiences that honor vulnerability as well as strength. Embracing such a mindset is a transformative step toward personal empowerment and deeper connection. The evidence presented, from scientific studies to personal testimonials, underscores the multifaceted nature of intimacy. Harmful myths distort our perceptions and impose unrealistic standards, yet practical strategies exist to reclaim self-confidence. Consolidating these insights reveals an integrated approach that merges critical analysis with actionable techniques. Whether through mindfulness practices or improved communication, the strategies discussed offer a robust framework for debunking false narratives. Together, the accumulated evidence and strategies form a powerful toolkit for transforming how we experience intimacy. Embracing a new perspective on intimacy, free from the constraints of damaging myths, has the potential to dramatically improve overall quality of life. When individuals reject unrealistic standards and value authenticity, they open the door to deeper emotional connections and genuine satisfaction. This shift reduces anxiety, bolsters self-esteem, and cultivates more harmonious personal relationships. A renewed focus on holistic well-being empowers people to prioritize emotional health alongside physical intimacy. Such a transformative perspective rejuvenates both intimate relationships and overall life satisfaction. As we conclude this in-depth exploration, the transformative message is clear. Embracing truth over myth is the pathway to renewed self-confidence and enriched intimacy. The insights shared serve as a catalyst for personal growth and lasting change, urging you to internalize the lessons learned and reject outdated, harmful beliefs. Let these ideas inspire you to cultivate a more authentic, resilient approach to your intimate life. Embrace continuous self-improvement and genuine connection as the foundation for a brighter, more fulfilling future. In summary, debunking the myths of effortless performance, superficial appearance, and performance-based confidence is essential for reclaiming true intimacy and self-worth. By challenging these harmful beliefs, you can break free from unrealistic pressures and foster genuine, empowering connections. Embrace evidence-based strategies, cultivate mindfulness, and value your authentic self. If you found these insights transformative, please subscribe, comment, and like this video to join our community of empowered individuals. Your journey to lasting confidence starts now, so take the first step toward a more fulfilling life.